Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Sketchat. It's probably been like 8 or 9 months since I've streamed.
Sweet.
Yeah.
What's going on, everyone? What's going on?
Yep. Today we got special guest Elliot Rodriguez
Yeah. What's
streaming
going
live
on,
from
guys?
Peru, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, in South America, in Peru, kicking it.
It's awesome, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
so
and
cool that our.
thank you very much for having me on the show. I really appreciate it.
Oh yeah, no problem, man. It
Yeah.
was really cool that our time zones linked up the way they did.
Yeah. Really good. Yeah.
Yeah. So I figured today we would draw your characters, and I know you've got your sketch that you're gonna ink.
Yeah, I have this. Hopefully, I can set my camera up just right because I'm having issues with it. But yeah, this is what I'm going to work on. I sketched this not too long ago. I just wanted to get some rough pencils down and ink that, and then yeah, here it is.
Nice.
Get this inked, and then hopefully, yeah, just ink it just for fun because I don't have any plans for this image, but yeah, it's always good to practice drawing your characters. What are you
Nice.
drawing?
Yeah. So I want to draw one of your characters too. I want to draw since you're
Ah,
drawing the
sweet.
hero. I'm gonna draw your villain.
Ah, nice,
Well,
sweet.
so tell me about your characters' names. Like, tell me about your story.
Yeah. Thank you very much for having me on, and yeah, and thank you to everybody out there who's watching this. If not now, then in the replay. But yeah, as if for the people that have been following my channel and following me on Twitter recently, you will be in the know of the fact that I have been working on my own comic. Um, I'm testing the waters because I have no experience in making comics at all. So I'm testing the waters and seeing how I can go about doing all of this. So uh, one of the earliest ideas that I had was to do like a mini comic, a short comic, introducing the characters and the world in some fashion that I can get out to the people quickly and. So that they won't have to worry or won't have to wait so long for the actual book to come out.
Right.
Um, yeah, and the book I'm writing it. I've written more since lately, and I still have maybe I think like 20% left to finish, and then I'll be able to send it to the editor and get it done. But it's a long story. It's going to take I'm assuming 4 issues, 5 6 issues to tell the whole story of this character, and so I thought that it would be too long to make people wait for the book, so I figured I could have them read something in the meantime. And
Right.
so I started working on this November of last year, and if anybody has seen my my recent tweet, I have big an announcement to make, for me at least, and yeah, just want to officially say on Ben's channel, on Sketchat, that
Sweet.
yeah, you get the exclusive scoop.
That's right.
But but the news is that I have officially finished the comic. The comic is done in terms of the colors, the lettering, the
Awesome.
post production. All the pages are done, and I have the PDF file ready.
Awesome.
Um, so I think next week I'll start giving announcements on how to get a hold of it. The price for the color version that I'm working on is going to be $5, and I'm going to take a page out of Sean and Joe's book from the Art and Stuff show, and I'm going to do this first part just exclusively through DMs. So if
Okay.
anybody out there is interested and they want to read this comic, it's just 10 pages. You'll be done with it like super quick, but but I think it's worth it. It will be it's a good way to introduce everyone to this world that I'm creating, and yeah, and I'm super excited. I was really happy to see the actual file from beginning to end and read all
Yeah.
the pages and everything, and with all the text, and it looks great. Um, and if you don't mind me sharing, I think I'll share like the first page.
Oh yeah, sure.
I don't want to share too much, but exclusive stuff is always cool. And so let's see if I can pull this up. Um, um, I'll start with this first, if you don't mind. Ben, I'll show off some of my characters, and then we'll jump into the. I don't know if you can see this. Yeah, there it is.
Oh man, that's nice.
Yeah, and this is the main character. This is the character that I have here right now that I'm drawing. His name is Zadok. It's pronounced Zadok. That's the
Okay.
name. And yeah, just he's 18 years old. He's an 18-year-old kid who's trying to find his way into the world and trying to see where he fits. And he has his family. He has a mother, father, and a sister. And the story starts off with him celebrating his 18th birthday, and then he's going to go run off and do an errand um, alone in this case, and then the stuff that happens to him as he's doing this everyday daily routine type thing is what kicks off into the main story. So it starts off like just a normal everyday kind of thing, and then it becomes something a whole lot bigger. So he's gonna find himself in the middle of this fight that he was not prepared for, that he not expect, that he did not have planned, but he has to find a way to take up the baton, to take charge, and to do his part. Do his part to save his country, his people, and his family. And so he's gonna become a hero unwillingly, reluctantly.
The reluctant hero. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
awesome, man.
So he's got no interest or he has very little interest in fighting and things like this. But he's in situations that force him to do things that he normally wouldn't want to do. And that's the hero. His name is Zadok, and here you see him with a sword, um, which is something that I don't have planned for him until later in the story. But I figured that for this short story, it would be cool to see him like use the sword, fight, and things like that.
Yeah.
So that's the hero, um, and then this next pick is the villain. His name is Deathmonger. I think this is the character you're drawing, Ben.
Yep. Yep. I want to
Yeah,
draw
yeah,
him.
yeah. Sweet. So this is the character. He is Deathmonger. And I originally designed him like way back in the day, like 2008, 2009, as this big monster, like a monstrous representation of death.
Yeah.
Um, and so I had this character a long time ago, and I redesigned him, and this is the new design of him.
I
And
love it, man.
yeah, thank you. I've gotten a lot of praise about the design of this character and his look, and it was that praise and that feedback that I got from him that made me want to do this because I had minimal plans for this guy. This guy wasn't the didn't have so much spotlight as he does now. But when I saw that people liked him so much, I changed a few things of the story elements for him, and I'm going to give him a much bigger role in the story in the main comic. So for fun, I thought, wouldn't it be cool if we can see these two guys go at it just for kicks, because they're not going to actually fight in this comic until much later.
Yeah.
So I figured it'd be cool to see them, go at it, just to see, what that would be like.
Right.
And yeah, so that's what ended up being this short story, and you see these two characters go at it, and let me show you. Just some of the images that were in the thumbnail for this is let's see the cover, yeah, and this is the cover. Let's see if I can. Yeah, here it is.
Nice.
Sorry, let's take a look at it here. Yeah, this is the cover. So you see the two heroes like going at it. And the name of my comic is called Ominous, without the O without the second O.
Yeah.
just one O, and yeah, so that's the logo, and then these are the two characters. I did the inks. I'm doing all of the art in this comic, and the colors for this cover were done by Matt Yackey, which was an incredible honor to have him do that for me.
Yeah.
And here we see, for example, the names of the people that are working. The second name here is Emmanuel, who's doing the colors for the interior, and Paul Bird. Paul Bird, he's the creator of a comic on Fun My Comic called Fall of Man, and I've done some work with him before, and he's doing the letters for this mini comic, and yeah, so that's the cover, and yeah, I'm really excited that I was that this is out, and I'm going to show
Yeah,
you
man.
guys, and I'm going to show you guys the first page. If I can find
Yeah,
it.
everything looks great, man. That colorist is awesome.
Yeah. Man Yeki does a really good job. I I first worked with him for the Mavericks campaign from Global Frequency,
Yeah.
and I did a pinup, and Matt colored it, and I love his colors on my line art. I thought it was really good how just his interpretations of things, and so when I started doing this, I said to myself that I need to have at least one piece in there from Mayaki, because I'm really a big fan of his work, and yeah, he didn't disappoint. Like I was really happy with what he I was really happy with what he did, and yeah, it was just great. Um, I couldn't continue hiring his services because it's a little bit out of my range, but it's worth it for that piece that I got, and I look forward to hopefully getting a chance to work with him again in the future.
Yeah.
And and yeah, this whole this story is nothing but 10 pages, but just getting through these 10 pages has taught me so much about the comic making process, and it is a lot of work. It's not easy at all, but uh, but it pays off at the end. At the end, when you see the final product, it's just awesome.
Yeah, man. It's like having a baby. It's like there it
Yeah,
is. You know, you labored over it for so long, and you finally see it complete.
yeah, yeah, exactly, man. It was yeah, it's a wild ride. Getting to see everything from the initial pencils, the inks, the colors, the letters, everything. It's just great ride. And this is the first page. I've shown this off a bunch of times on my channel and on Twitter. And we see this face off between Zadok and Deathmonger.
Nice.
And uh, yeah, so this is the line art. I'm gonna show you this step by step. I'm gonna show you the colors. Um, let's see. Here are the colors. Wait. Here we go. 1 second. And here are the colors. All right, so this is done. This was colored by Emmanuel Ordaz. He's the colorist for the book.
Okay.
And yeah, so here are the colors here for the first panel.
Oh, that looks good,
And
man.
the second.
I like the textures he's got on the rock.
Yeah, he does really good job with textures. Yeah, I think his work. Yeah, he does really good work. And actually, what sold me on his work was how he colored faces and skin. Because I was
Yeah.
really worried about that. I didn't think it would be an issue with the colorist, but I've before choosing Emmanuel, I did like what do you call it, like a casting call, I guess, or an audition of sorts, and I asked different colorists to color the same page,
Yeah.
and and it's amazing also, like when you give any artist like a task, and you give that same task to like 10 different artists, they'll give you 10 different versions of it, each
Right.
one
Yeah.
different and unique in its own.
Right.
And so yeah, I got a lot of great color work from this, but this was the one that caught my eye most out of all of them. And yeah, and then yeah, and I dug it a lot, and I decided to continue working with him for the rest. And yeah, I was really happy with what he did. Here I have page 2. Here are the colors for page 2,
Oh, that's nice.
and then you see the big bad guy and Zadok running at each other about to fight, and
Yeah.
he's about to hook. He's pulling back that fist. He's getting ready to knock him out.
Yeah.
But yeah, this has been so far all I've shown off. Just this page and page 1.
Yeah.
This is all I've shown off. I haven't shown off anything else of it yet, and but everything is done, and you'll be able to get it hopefully next week once I get all this last minute thing fixed out. And here are the letters. Let's see if I can show you guys the letters also.
I love your artwork, man. It's very dynamic. I love those pages.
Yeah, thanks, man. I try my best. And I what is it like? like when I first got back into drawing, I wasn't planning on doing a comic. I was just planning on just getting better at drawing and getting better at my craft. But then I stumbled upon Twitter, and I stumbled upon the indie comic scene, and I stumbled upon CG and a bunch of awesome creators. And because I remember back when I was younger, and I say this a lot. When I was younger, I used to draw and hang out with my friends, and then we would all like read comics, and then most of us or some of us would say, "Hey, I can create a character cooler than Cyclops, or cooler than Wolverine, or cooler than Iron Man." And so we would draw stuff, create our own characters, and fantasize, at least from my perspective, fantasize about one day actually doing a comic. And I always had it in my head as like it'll be just some fantasy pipe dream that I'll never get around to it.
Right.
Because I would, you never think that somebody like Marvel or DC or anybody would pay attention to you. And so,
Right.
Well, at least that's what I understood. And so I was like, that'll never happen. No, but then I stumbled upon the indie scene, and then I saw that people were crowdfunding, and then I saw like just no disrespect to anybody, but just the impression is that like your average Joe can just draw something and then put it up and then make it. And I was like, whoa.
No, it's true, man.
No, so no disrespect to anybody, because there's so much talent out there. That's one of like the bad things about and looking strictly to Marvel and DC for artists, is that they pick what they consider the best, but that doesn't mean that's all that's out there. There's a bunch of talented colorists, artists, inkers. There's so much talent out there, you can just see like in CG by itself, like all the people that have made books. There's so much great artists, colorists. For example, Ben, also you did an excellent job on Hammerella. Really, really good work. And
thanks, man.
I love your colors that you did on my Shadowpunk fan art. So I mean, there's so much great talent out there. So it was really interesting to see in the indie comic scene that people could just actually do it. They can write up a script, hire an artist, get these panels drawn, and then put it together. So
yeah. No, I guess the way I see it is crowdfunding really leveled the playing field. Like if you want to get into comics, there's no reason why you can't.
Exactly. Yeah, and now it's like the perfect time to like jump in and just see what's out there, and yeah. So I was really excited, and so like once I saw this, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and try my luck at it. I got some characters that I've created when I was younger. I went back to look through all those sketches to see if it could potentially be made into a book, and I thought, I think the elements are there. I thought the designs were pretty cool. I think that the story I have to tell, I think is interesting, and so I hope people like it. If they don't, then it's okay. I mean, there's no
Right.
no hard feelings at all.
Right.
I'll still work on this, and I'll still make it. But yeah, just having that opportunity, just for myself as an artist, especially people that draw comics, like I draw Spider-Man, I draw Wolverine, I draw my characters, I draw other indie characters, and so you draw all of this. I think that one of like the end game goals is to like put out your own book. So
Right.
or at least work on a comic. If it's not your own book, then at least do sequential art, because storytelling is another beast, completely
really
different
is.
from pinups. Yeah, there's so much else that you have to consider, like pacing, the placement of balloons and text, and there's just so much that goes to it. So it's another craft in itself. And so I think like if you're an artist, if you consider yourself a comic artist, then you should do a book.
Definitely.
And so this is my effort here, and
It's looking
and
great,
hopefully
man.
people dig it. Yeah, thanks, man. I really appreciate it. And
Yeah, the colors are awesome. Your artwork is awesome. Like I said, it's very dynamic. There's like nothing stagnant or boring about it. It's great.
thanks, man. Yeah, I really appreciate it. I hope people enjoy it. I hope you enjoy it also. And so yeah, this is the page with the text. All the text is on here, and this is page 1, and then yeah. So that's the story of my comic, and yeah. So that's pretty much it. And I also got a black and white version also, because I had some feedback saying that black and white might look a little bit, I don't know, better, but it will look different. And
Yeah.
So I got a black and white version available. Also, I'm going to have a grayscale version also for people that like grayscale. And and yeah, man. So uh, let's see. I'm gonna show you guys a page of the black and white version.
All right.
Yes, there's page one in black and white. It's got a different feel to it, but I think it's good too.
Yeah. No, it looks good, man.
Yeah. And yeah, all of this is done traditionally on comic board paper and comic board, and yeah, I do some touch ups digitally, but mostly it's just
It's traditional, huh?
traditional work. Yeah.
That's awesome, man.
Thanks, man. And yeah, so that's the story of the comic. Hopefully, people dig it.
Yeah, very cool. And when are you going to print?
Yeah, that's another issue actually. Because I'm not going to print this just yet.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not going to print this just yet.
So you're just doing a digital comic right now? That's it, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
I got you.
because the thing is, I want to like hook people in, and then
Yeah.
later on, I want to like I want to do the physical book. And for people that have been following me, they have heard me say that physical was out of the question because I just didn't have the means to do it here.
Yeah.
Because I mean, living in Peru, I'd have to like find a way to do shipping and packaging and all this from here, which is
Yeah, that'd be rough.
yeah, impossible from my end. So I had originally stated that I wasn't going to do a physical book, but that has since changed. And now the physical book is definitely going to happen at some point. I'm just going to time it, I think, a little bit better, because once I had this finished, I was like, okay, let's print it, let's go, let's launch the Indiegogo, let's jump on all these streams, and then, but then I was like, I had some people that put my feet on the ground, like, just relax, calm down, take it easy. We gotta think things out first, and so because the thing was, I could put this book out now physically, but the actual main comic is not going to be done for like at least 2 years or a year and a half or something like that. So it's not going to be done for a while. So
right.
There's a bunch of very smart people that were telling me to wait and put this book out physically maybe a few months before the actual launch of the main campaign. So I think I'm going to do that. So I'm going to hold off and wait to get it in the physical form maybe next year.
No, yeah, that's smart.
And so, but I mean, it's available now. If anybody wants to read it now, get a jump on things and get to learn more about the characters, it's available now. And so, just hit me up in the DMs, and I'll be able to get a copy out to you. And
you take PayPal or?
Yeah, through PayPal. Everything through PayPal. It's $5 for this color digital file, and if $5 is too much, because it's only 10 pages. It's only 10 pages, and I don't want to ask too much for so little, because it's only 10 pages. So I also have a $2 option for the black and white line art, and the $3 option for the grayscale version of it. So whatever you guys prefer, I have no problem, and then just hit me up in the DMs, and I'll give you my PayPal, and then I can get you squared away with your nice crisp digital file.
Nice.
And yeah, man. So hopefully people like it, and yeah, I think that's
Well, that's awesome, man.
Yeah. Thank you very much, man. And
yeah, it looks great.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
So how did you get into comics?
In terms of making them, just recently, like a few years ago, I just got into it through Twitter and the indie comic scene. But as a fan, I've been a fan since must have been like 9 or 10 years old, 8 years old. I started drawing when I was 8, and
Really?
I drew Spider-Man, and Marvel characters. I'm a big Marvel fan, much more than DC.
Yeah.
But that's no diss at DC because I love Superman, I love Batman, um, uh, and Wonder Woman. Who doesn't know great characters? But I was mostly DC back in those days. Because I'm sorry, I was mostly Marvel back in those days. Because back in those days, you had the Spider-Man TV show on Saturdays. You had the X-Men TV show on Saturdays.
Right. Yeah.
You had they were everywhere. They had comics all over the place. Just recently, I forgot who it was that I was messaging. I think it was J-Bot and Dan Lawless and Adam Miller, and they were looking at art for. We were talking about art from for the Marvel cards from back in the day, the Marvel Masterpiece set, and
Yeah.
also there was also a game called Overpower. I don't know if you heard about that back in the day.
I don't think so. It doesn't sound
Yeah,
familiar.
and they had like it was like a game, it was like it's a card game, and they had game decks, and then you could get the cards, and then they had. I remember it because of the artwork. I remember the wonderful art that they had. They had all the characters, and yeah, so I would just draw all that stuff, and just watch all that stuff, read comics, and I kept reading until like about 14, and then after 14, puberty hit, and then life hit, and then I haven't I haven't gotten back into comics since a few years ago, and that was because I finished my university studies in 2018, and then after I was done, I was like, what do I do now? I have so much time, so much free time. I was like, yeah, I guess I'll just doodle around and draw again, see if I can, wipe the dust off the old tech pen, and so I've been just drawing and get back into the groove recently.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah, man.
What character drew you into comics? Like a specific one?
Spider-Man. I'm a
Spider-Man.
big Spider-Man fan.
Awesome, man.
Big
Same,
Spider-Man fan.
same here.
Yeah, and Spider-Man, and then actually number one would be the Ninja Turtles. The Ninja Turtles is my number one IP. I love the
Nice.
Turtles. I watched them also as a kid. I was into them before I was into comics,
Yeah.
and I didn't realize that they were a comic until I was like about 14, 15. And I
Yeah.
was like, they have comics of the Turtles, and it kept bugging me out how it was weird for me like seeing the Turtles in
Like black and white.
yeah, in black and white, and then all wearing the same bandana color. I
Yeah.
was like, why is everybody trying to be Raph?
Right.
And but no, I love. Then much later on, much later on, I read their comics, and then I'm a big fan of their comics also. Yeah, the work that Eastman and Laird did, man, it's just phenomenal. And it's really good stuff, man. Oh yeah, I got it to work.
Nice.
I don't know if I can zoom in, but
Yeah, let
or
me,
maybe I can. Crap.
get this off. Here we go.
Yeah, my
There.
other camera that I had planned to use is not working for some reason, so I think this is the best that I can do today.
That looks good.
Trying to get this squared off.
So, who are your comic book influences? Your artistic influences?
Yeah, I'm heavily influenced. Well, back in the day when I first started drawing, it was Jim Lee, it was Mark Silvestri, it was Todd McFarlane was an incredible influence. I love what he did with Spawn. I remember back in those days when I was really into reading comics and stuff. I was able to collect the first 14 issues of Spawn.
Wow.
But yeah, after a while, I got rid of all my comics one day, for some strange reason. I was either mad or something happened. I don't know, but I got rid of my comics back in those days. I regret it because I had a lot of really cool comics. I had War Machine issue 1. I had Darkness, the first like a bunch of the first issues when Mark was just doing that stuff.
Yeah.
And he was just working on that book, man. A really good art from back then. And hey, what's going on, Ja Rule? Thank you very much.
Ja Rogue.
Yeah, what's up, man?
Yeah, thanks for stopping in, man.
Yeah, and yeah, so those were my influences back in the day. Um, but my influences have changed a lot since then, because now that I'm getting into drawing, and specifically now that I'm getting into inking, I have learned to appreciate the art of inking.
Yeah.
Because back in the day, like I was one of those people that thought that inkers were just tracers, and I
Right.
thought that the real talent lay in the pencils.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's wrong. That's incorrect. If anybody tells you that, they know nothing.
Yeah, it's one of those things that you don't appreciate till you try it.
Yeah, man. When I started inking myself, I was like, why is this so hard? Like, why is this is much more difficult than penciling? And yeah, I had to learn a lot about art after I started messing with inks, and yeah, so now my appreciation has changed significantly. Like I still like Jim Lee and everybody from back in the day, but now, for example, I appreciate Danny Mickey, Mark Morales, Sandra Hope, um, and all the wonderful inkers out there. Because yeah, their job is not easy. You know,
Right. Yeah.
like for example, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I was gonna say Sandra Hope is one of those inkers I could just watch, like, just sit and watch her ink.
Yeah, yeah, she's an amazing talent. When I saw her ink the first time, I was like, man, I'm not gonna be an inker. I can't do any of that stuff. And 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 she handles and she works a lot with brushes.
Yeah. Yeah, she does.
And man, I was like, man, brushwork like that. Oh man,
It's like every stroke is just carefully planned.
yeah,
Like, yeah, just so graceful with that brush.
yeah, man. Her game is on point.
Yeah, it is.
And yeah, so now I have a greater appreciation for them. For example, Art Adams, because I study a lot of people. I study everybody, and so I take a look at what each artist does, and I try to like incorporate what I can from their skills into my art. And yeah, like I have new appreciation for example, Gil Kane, the older guys also,
Yeah.
John Buscema, man, that guy, amazing inker.
Hey, Michael Bancroft. Thanks for stopping by, Michael.
Hey, what's going on, man? What's going on, Mr. Bancroft?
Hey, Bancroft. I need to get you on my show too, man.
Yeah, I need to get you on my show also. Bancroft. Get on everybody's show. So yeah, I recently did a fan art piece of Ella Forsyth, and I dig the line art, but I think the colors could have came out a little bit better.
Yeah.
I'm gonna draw her again. Like sometimes, like I draw characters, and then when I feel like I haven't done them justice, I feel I give it another shot.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, I want to get a good a good representation of Ella Forsyth. Yeah, so I did the artwork for her, and I thought that I could probably do a better chance. Um, if I did it again, I'll do a better chance. So when I'm done with commissions, I'm gonna take another crack at her. Are you working on any books of your own, Ben?
I am. I've probably have like 2 or 3 projects I'm juggling. Um,
Oh
but
wow,
yeah, I was hoping to release one this October, but it's probably not going to happen.
that sucks.
Yeah, I caught the Rona and it kind of set me back a few weeks, and I was just like, nah, I'm just gonna hold off because my energy level dropped, man. And When I was sick, I just got so tired and I lost a lot of focus. Doing better now, but it was just I just had a hard time with it.
Oh man, sorry to hear that, man. Hopefully, hopefully you'll be able to get back on that. When you were going to work on your own story, your own comic.
Yeah. Bankrupt says, "Hell yeah, just hit me up." Awesome, man.
Oh, you better not jive me, man, because I will call you up, bro. Like, hey, man, I need you on my show on the 8th ASAP, man.
All right, leave those kangaroos alone and come talk to me.
Yeah, man. No, yeah, just yeah, want to give a shout out to Michael Bancroft because he does an incredible job representing CG and just helping out all of us
Yeah, definitely.
on the show. Yeah, he gets that ambassador award every year, and he deserves it.
Yeah,
he
he
deserves
earned it.
He should get like a perpetual ambassador award every year.
Yeah,
I nominate him for the first lifetime achievement award for CG.
There you go. I second that.
And yeah, so that's.
Now I was thinking about what you were talking about earlier, how you like once you start drawing comic books, you start appreciating some of these older artists that you didn't have any appreciation for before.
Yeah.
And is there anyone in particular that you're like, this guy, like I didn't like his artwork before, but now that I know, like now that I'm more aware of what it takes, like I can appreciate his artwork. Is there anybody like that?
I have that reaction to more of the older guys because for example, like when I was growing up in the 90s, looking at the artwork, for example, of John Buscema, Steve Ditko, for example, John Romita, Gil Kane, like some of those artists from back in the day, like they were like, meh, because at that time, like, Jim Lee was new, Mark Sylvester was new. So like what they were doing was like incredibly amazing. And then when I look back at the 80s artwork and the 80s comics, I was like, meh, I'm all right.
Yeah.
But ever since I got into inking and studying, for example, like proportions, for example, this gesture drawing, contour lines, and line weights and all this stuff, like I got another appreciation for what they did because I can see like their technique. I can look at their technique. It's like, oh, okay, this may not look as dynamic as the other stuff, but everything is well laid out. So like for example, I love John Romita. I love Gil Kane, Neil Adams. Oh man, I can't get enough of that guy's work.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, just great artists. Great artists. George Perez. Like George Perez is another one that I didn't have too much admiration for until much later.
Yeah, for me, it was Alex Raymond. Like I fell in love with his Alex Raymond's work.
Oh, nice.
And just started collecting his stuff. I don't know if you've ever seen his artwork.
I may have, but yeah, I may have, but I'm not. The name isn't too familiar right now for me.
Those older guys were putting out pages fast. Yes, they were.
Yeah, I heard John Byrne was just incredibly fast. Man, and that skill set and that quick, man.
Yeah.
Amazing stuff.
But they didn't have day jobs like we do.
That's the other thing. Yeah. Yeah, because if I could draw 8 hours a day, oh man. Yeah, if I could draw 8 hours a day, man, what? Oh man. I'd get my book done a whole lot sooner.
So what inspired Ominous?
Like the name or the concept?
Just the concept, like
because I'm a big fan of Final Fantasy. Like if you look at Xenos, he looks a lot like Cloud.
Yeah, I was gonna say that huge sword was giving me Final Fantasy vibes.
Yeah, that sword, man. Yeah, I dig it a lot. And so yeah, I played that game in '97. I was how old was I? Like 12 years old. I don't know, but I played the game and that scene where spoilers just in case if nobody's ever played that game, but it's like a 40-year-old game. But anyways,
Right.
um, that scene where Sephiroth kills Aerith.
Yeah.
Yeah, that rocked me, man. I had no idea that was coming, and I couldn't believe that I'm actually seeing like a main character die, and I thought that she'll be back. Because
Right.
back in that day, everybody would die, and then they would come back like issues later, not like with Superman and things like that. So I thought, yeah, nobody's gonna die. She'll be back. But no, that character never came back, and I'm still trying to get through that trauma.
So trying to work that out.
Yeah, and yeah, man, like that really like marked me a lot. Like, 'cause I was really impressed by the fact that they were able to like go all the way, kill a character, and not bring her back, and make that death matter to the story. And it helped the story out a lot. And that really like, wow, it gave me a serious impression, a really good impression, and it was impressionable on me.
Right.
And and yeah, so that story stuck with me, and yeah, I don't know. It's like I just like the design of the characters. I like the story. It had a lot of memorable scenes in it, and so when I was like 15, I was I created the story for myself, and I thought like, what would I do if I could create my own Final Fantasy story? Like, what characters would I introduce? What would the story be? What would the set pieces be, and things like this? And and that's what the concept was, and and yeah, now like when I decided to take a crack at it and then make them part of the comic that I was working on, I decided to take it more serious and design characters that I think would work well in that story, and yeah, that's the logic and the reasoning behind that. Um, and
That's awesome, man.
and
What about as a writer? Are there any writers out there that inspire you?
writers, in comics or just regular
Just
books.
just in general, anything that's like made an impression on you that you've brought into comics. Like
Um,
you just mentioned with the game Final Fantasy VII, sounds like that really rocked your world.
yeah, yeah, it did, man. In terms of writing, like I do write. I'm sorry, I do read, um, especially in university, I read a lot. And I've been reading a lot of novels and stuff, and I get a pretty good idea and concept of the three-story arc and how things are set up and how things are executed at the end and how the resolution and things like this. And uh, is there any one particular writer that stood out? I would probably say a Spanish writer, Gabriel Gabo, Gabriel Garcia Marquez. If anybody's familiar with him, he's a Colombian writer. I like his work. Yeah, I like how he writes. Um, and But is there any one particular story that floored me? I guess 1984, but I'm living it now. Yeah, because
Oh, yeah.
1984 was pretty. Yeah, 1984 was interesting, and but yeah, I mean the classics. I've read Hamlet. I've read Gatsby. I've read Hemingway. I've read James Joyce, Ulysses. I don't consider myself a connoisseur like Kimosabi or Aldous or people like that. No, but I do read. I'm not completely oblivious to reading and uh, and I want to try to hopefully bring some of that to the comic. Like for example, like if I kill off a character, he's gone for good, and like I want things like that to hold weight and to mean something in the story.
Right.
Um, and and yeah, so like elements like that, if I can. I also I also like comics for the cinematic aspect of it, and I think nobody has executed it as well as Bancroft. He's got really good cinematic scenes in his in the Lucent. and like for example, he's got this shot over Paris, like is really like amazing. He's got this shot also that he's working on now. I think for the hardcover cover. That's these guys in the cave, and it's like it's this big, epic type feel to it, and like I want to bring some of that to it also, if it's possible, if I can make it work. And yeah, just storytelling in general from different mediums. I want to try to my best to get this in there, to put this in the book.
Yeah. It's awesome.
And in terms of comics, I don't know what comic writer I think I like a lot. Claremont. Yeah, Claremont's good. Frank
Yeah.
Miller, when he did that Born Again comic, is amazing. Yeah, uh, Claremont
Yeah, I
Miller.
think Claremont's everybody's go-to. Like his run on X-Men and
Yeah,
was that did he do Alpha Flight? I'm trying to remember.
I'm not sure. I think he did. Yeah, I think he did do some of that. Yeah, but his work is really good. Um, I love how he gives each character a voice. Um, he gives each character a voice, their own personality, and how for example, Telepathic Bunny not too long ago recommended. I had him on my show also, and he recommended because he's a writer. He's very outspoken. He's a good writer. He talks writing about a lot. Gives so much importance to editors, and I agree with him in that sense. Well, a lot of what he says, no, I agree with. And I asked him in the show what comics he would recommend, because I love comics, but I haven't read all of them. I haven't. There's so much that I want to discover. Because for example, if you're into reading, and you want to understand reading for what it's worth, then it's always good to take a look at the classics. And so sometimes, no, like 1984, Animal Farm, and even for kids like Charlotte's Web, Hamlet, and Shakespeare. There's so many good stories to read that are excellent. So I wanted to take that approach towards comics and see what stories out there are must reads. And he recommended a story called or an arc that's called Mutant Massacre. I don't know if you read it.
No, I haven't.
Yeah, and but yeah, Massacre. I just got through reading it not too long ago, and it was really good. Like it was really really good. I enjoyed it. Um, in that story, Claremont is able to give the X Men like their own moments, like their own key moments, so you can understand like what motivates them, what pushes them, like what's their motive for being, like why are they in the team, why are they fighting for humans. And so I really enjoyed that. I don't see a lot of that with the newer stuff, and that was something that I really appreciated. And T Bunny, if you're out there, man, I appreciate the recommendation, man. Really good book. You guys should check it out. Mutant Massacre. Mutant Massacre. And the telepathic body. Yeah, man. Is there any particular writer that you like? Are you?
Yeah, I guess growing up for me, David Michelini was one that I
Oh
liked a
yeah,
lot.
yeah, yeah,
His stuff on Amazing Spider-Man was it just blew me away. I was like, this is what comic books should be.
yeah.
Um,
Yeah, I'm sorry. He was actually wait, was he the writer or the artist on Born Again? I forget. I
Born
think he was the writer.
Again. I
No, he
don't
was an
know.
artist. I don't know. But yeah, I totally agree with that stuff, man. Yeah. Yeah, the sad thing about drawing is I draw in my free time, and because I draw in my free time, I have no more time for reading, so I don't read
Yeah,
as much as I would like.
no, the same here. Mostly I listen to like podcasts or I listen to audiobooks, and
Yeah,
that's how I absorb content.
yeah, yeah, definitely, man. Yeah, I would like to have you on my show also because I got a bunch of questions to ask you, Dan.
Yeah, man.
Like, how did you get into comics, into making them,
For
reading them?
me, I got into comics when I was about 12 years old or so. Just at a grocery store, I went and picked a comic book off a rack and asked my dad if I could take it. He was like, "Yeah, go for it." And after that, man, I was just hooked. It was a GI Joe comic. That was my first comic book.
Oh, nice, sweet.
Yep, and just kind of fell in love with it ever since.
And did you have similar influences as mine coming up? It sounds like we're about the same age.
Maybe I'm a little bit older.
Okay.
So I grew up like reading like Mark Bagley's Amazing Spider-Man. So like
Yeah,
his
yeah,
artwork
yeah.
influenced me a lot. Jim Lee, of course. Um, then later on, Michael Turner when he came about.
Yeah, man. Yeah, my. I'm pretty sure there's gonna be a lot of people out there disagree, but in my personal opinion, Mark Bagley's Spider Man was the definitive Spider Man
Yeah,
for me. Like I can't draw Spider Man unless it's like how he did it.
right. Yeah, and I had a hard time with it because I went from reading Eric Larson or like watching Eric Larson draw it, which looking back at it now, I'm like, oh man, that's not as good as Mark Bagley. But when they made that switch from Eric Larson to Mark Bagley, I had a tough time accepting Mark Bagley at first. But yeah, I mean, now I completely agree. Like he's the
Yeah,
quintessential Spider-Man artist.
he's my favorite. And I just personally think that his pencils with Mark Morales' inks is just the best ever. Like the cream of the crop. Like I saw a piece that they did together a while back of Spider Man. Man, it's just his line work, and then I love how Mark inks. He's got a very strong way of inking. Yeah, big fan of his work. Mark Morales.
I have to check that out. I don't think I've ever seen them together.
Yeah, yeah. There's a pin up that they did. I think it was a commission. Mark Morales
Bagley,
and Bagley.
the
Those
Bag
guys are
Man.
the best. Yeah. Um, I kind of like how this is coming out. Isn't it weird how like the ones that you least expect, uh, or that you least had any hope for, are like the ones that come out the best?
They surprise you. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Um. Yeah. Jaros' Meat Massacre is a classic. Yeah. Yeah. I definitely agree with that. And yeah, that story is really good. If you haven't read it, you should read it.
I have to check that out. What title was that under?
X Men, Uncanny X Men.
Uncanny. Okay.
Um. I could show you because I
Yeah.
read like a collected edition on a digital format
Okay.
not too long ago. So
That's probably the best way to do it.
yeah, yeah, you get all the stories and yeah, and
So, do you still read mainstream comics or not anymore?
mainstream comics. No, no, no. I stopped doing that. No, I stopped doing that mess. I don't know. F that. I'm not doing that. Yeah, no,
No,
I'm not.
I feel the same way. It's what gets me. I was like, I'll meet these artists like at local conventions, and they'll talk about how they want to make it into the industry, and what they mean is they want to work for DC or Marvel. I'm like, why would you want to do that? Well, you could just work for yourself.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Back when I first started drawing, yeah, I came across this talent search thing that Top Cow does, and they do it every year or every 2 years. They look for uh, talented artists, and I joined in the talent hunt thing, um, and I remember that they asked at that time they asked us to draw 8 pages in the span of I think it was 4 months, 6 months, and then they will select the winner, and then the winner would get to be published, and then would get to work on on an issue. I think it was, or no, just to help them get their foot through the door,
Yeah.
and I was it was my first time I ever attempted drawing a comic, and when I first started working on it, it was incredibly hard. At that time, I didn't have an understanding of perspective and horizons and vanishing points and 1 point, 2 point, or 3 point perspective, and so yeah, like there was a scene that they wanted me to draw in a bar, and like just drawing the the bar in the restaurant was like incredibly difficult, and it was like wrecking my mind. And I was thinking like, man, if I do ever finish this and I do present it and I do win, what does that mean? I have to do this for what, 8 hours a day, and I have to put in all this effort, and at the end the prize money was, I think, was like what was it? I think it was like I think they had. I'm not sure how it was, but the thing was that I figured it out in my head that the effort that I'm putting into for these characters that I have no strong connection to, I was like, it's not worth it at all. Like I thought to myself, no, I would much rather put in this kind of effort for my own stuff
Right.
that can keep versus putting in so much effort for something that that is not mine in the end, though, because at the end of the day they have the rights to it. They make money to it. They make money for it. They do all these things with it, and like, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to give them my time. And so yeah, that was that.
Yep.
And it was funny because the script that they all gave us was a script that was written it was written for Dale Keown.
Oh wow.
And so Dale, like, we got to look at the script, and it's an issue that Dale Keown, the issue that they gave us as a reference was an issue that Dale Keown actually drew. It's issue number 20 of The Darkness, and we took a look at that script, and yeah, I was like, no, I'm not gonna, I can't do work like Dale. I was like, man, forget this,
Right.
I'm out. And then years later, Dale comes over to CG. I was like, well,
Right.
isn't that crazy how that works?
Yep.
And yeah, man. Yeah, I think that if anybody's out there drawing and have any kind of interest in doing comics, make your own book. Seriously, make your own book.
Yeah, definitely. Do Top Coat still put out books? Yeah, they do. Yeah.
Yeah, they put out whack books. They put out lame books and then just piggyback off of Silvestri's name.
Pretty much.
Yeah, because nothing that they're putting out is really worth anybody's attention. Yeah, I think that's about it. Oh wait, I gotta do the hair. Well, I thought I was finished over here. I gotta do the hair.
So what's this guy's deal, man? This villain that you created here. What's his name again?
Deathmonger.
Deathmonger. Yeah.
Yeah, he was created by the main bad guy of my comic. I'll show you. The main bad guy of my comic is this character here. Oh, let me hold on. Let me look for him. Yeah, Deathmonger was created by this guy.
Okay.
His name is Necronox, and yeah, he's the main bad guy of the story. And
Nice. I like the design, dude. That's awesome.
yeah, thanks, man. Yeah, Mo Biggs called him Doom Shredder. I was like, man, that's so accurate because I'm a big fan of Doom and I love the Turtles, and yeah, that's without knowing I created Doom Shredder.
That's
But,
awesome.
but yeah,
man.
thanks, man. Yeah, so he's the main bad guy, and he created Deathmonger.
Okay.
As like a big monster to send after Zadok, and so yeah, he's like yeah, so he's got really no will other than this guy's. He's got
Okay.
like no major plans. He just executes the desires and wills of this guy.
So he's a henchman, basically.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, he's exactly. That's right. He's a henchman, and and uh, and yeah. So the big altercation fight in the comic is between Zadok and and Necronox. He's a Lieutenant Dan to his. He's a Forrest Gump to his Lieutenant Dan.
That's awesome.
Whatever you told me to, Drill Sergeant.
So what's it like in Peru, man? What's
Yeah, it's just I'm not gonna lie, Peru is not it's not the States, it's not a first world country, it is a third world country, and so there's a lot of poverty here, a lot of extreme poverty here, a lot of crazy things. Uh, yeah, a lot of crazy things that you can see here. There's a lot of corruption. In terms of laws, this really is no man's land. You can really get away with a lot of things here that you would think, wait, what? Um, so yeah, me in my case, I'm of the privileged few that can do things other people can't. Like for example, live stream and make a comic.
yeah?
Like it's yeah, I mean, I'm blessed and happy that I'm able to have the job that I have and able to provide for my family the way that I can, and and yeah, it's not something that everybody can do here in Peru, and so yeah, I mean, but I mean, in terms of like um, commodities, yeah, we have the same things as in the States. We have Starbucks, we have McDonald's, we have all these fast food restaurants, uh, we have internet, we have we have yeah, we got Samsung stuff. We got like everything that you can think of having them, but it's not accessible to everybody. There's people that have the latest technology in one side, and then there's people on the other side who don't have basic plumbing. And
Wow.
so it's those two extremes. And so
Yeah, that's crazy, man.
yeah, and so me, I'm luckily in the middle. So luckily I'm in the middle, and yeah, it's good. if anybody wants to invest, then Peru is like the prime place to invest because there's a bunch of companies here that, for example, there's a in the States, for example, they have Target, they have Marshalls, they have a bunch of these chain stores and places to get your clothes, to get your food. Here in Peru, we don't have national stores like that. So, for example, like Target, if they would like, they could invest in bringing stores here to Peru, and then it would do incredibly well here because people would love to get a chance to shop and buy things in stores the way it's done in the States. So, in terms of investment, this place is a really good place to invest.
That's cool.
Yeah, yeah. And are you are you in the States, Ben?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh, nice.
I am in Oklahoma.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Were you always in Oklahoma?
No, I was born in Texas,
Ah, nice.
and I moved to Oklahoma when I was about 22 or so.
Ah, yeah. I was wondering if you had lived there always, because I remember the Oklahoma City bombing back in the day. That was really tragic.
Yeah.
Javo says Doom Shredder. That's not a bad '90s villain name to be honest. Yes, yeah, it is. It got me thinking for a second. I might change this guy's name. Doom Shredder sounds much more marketable.
Go.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, that's dope, man.
Oh, thanks, man.
I'm digging that. Yeah, man, I was freaking out the other day. I got a fan art piece from Muttman. And he also drew a Deathmonger. Oh man, that was
Nice.
so crazy because I'm usually the one doing the fan art, but when you
Yeah.
get the fan art, it's really cool. It's really humbling.
Yeah, I bet.
Really humbling. I'll be sure to do the same thing for your character.
Yeah, that'd be cool, man.
You know, do my take on your character. What's your character's name?
Um, that's not even out yet, but his name's Little Jack.
Little Jack.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, it's gonna be like a superhero horror kind of mixed genre.
Oh, nice.
He's this kid who finds like this magical mask that's haunted, and he gives him powers so he can fight against some bad guys that escaped from death, basically, or from hell. So almost like a Ghost Rider type thing.
Oh, nice. So you got powers from hell. Nice.
Not quite. Like the kid's like a bonded with a ghost, basically. So it's kind of like ghost powers.
Oh, nice. How far along are you in the creative process? Like, do you have a script? Or
So I wrote like the first 5 issues, and I'm going
wow.
back. I'm going back now and doing my rewrites.
do you have an editor?
I'm self-editing.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So like my first pass is just kind of like letting myself be creative, and
Yeah.
then this second pass that I'm doing now is about the editing side of it. Like, okay, am I hitting like the story points that I need to hit,
Nice.
and kind of wrangling that creative side of me in, saying, okay, yeah, you wrote this, but it doesn't make any sense because you're missing this, and so yeah, it's an interesting process.
Oh, nice. Yeah, cause yeah, the writing. Yeah, I feel like I need an editor because I think I don't think I'm at that level to where I can like competently like write a story for myself and then hit all the beats that I'd like. So
Right.
I think an extra set of eyes for that would help out a lot. But yeah, man, yeah. This first one, for example, this first comment that I did, no editor at all. It was just me, and so if there's any mistakes, they're all mine.
Right.
Yeah, and then, I think Jaro asked a question. He asked, "Your best Final Fantasy, in my opinion."
Oh yeah.
Um, yeah, in my opinion, I'm biased because that one scene like marked me for life. But Final Fantasy VII is my favorite out of all the series. Um, I've played 7, 8, 9, and 10. That's all I've played. I've played Tactics, and I would like
I
to.
love Tactics, man.
Yeah, Tactics is awesome. I wasn't expecting much going into it, but when I played it, it was great. I like how they made that. I like the characters, and and yeah, I would like to go back and play 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 on the Super Nintendo. See how good they are, because I've heard really good things about some of the earlier ones.
Yeah.
But 7 is my favorite. 7 is my favorite, and I think a close second would be 10. I like 10 a lot.
Yeah. I
Um,
did too.
yeah, 10 was really good, and yeah, but yeah, I mean, I don't know where they're at now. Like, I think they're at 15. I think something like that. Like, I can't keep track.
Yeah. Something like that.
Yeah, yeah,
Part
good stuff.
27.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I like how we drew the characters because it makes it seem like they're about to fight.
Yeah.
The way we got it, the way we got
Side by
it.
side. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Like an arcade game is
Right.
Deathmonger versus Zadok.
Ready, fight.
Yeah,
Round one.
yeah, yeah. This was not scripted at all, folks. Yeah, man. Okay, a little bit more. In your book, are you going to be doing all of the art, coloring, and line art, all this stuff?
I'm gonna be coloring and lettering. Probably. Well, actually, I'll probably hire a letterer.
Yeah.
My brother's gonna be doing the penciling, and I'll be the ink. I'll be the inker and the colorist.
Ah, nice. Your brother draws?
Yeah.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah. He's a pretty good artist. He kind of has a like an American manga style.
Yeah, yeah, nice.
He grew up loving J. Scott Campbell.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's my go-to guy for drawing women.
So yeah, he's got a little bit of that in his style.
Yeah, yeah.
And
That's
he also
dope.
liked Gundam Wing,
Yeah, yeah.
that cartoon. Yeah, so he's got like a mix of like Gundam Wing kind of style with J. Scott Campbell.
Nice. Yeah, that's dope. Nice. Hey, yeah. Excuse me for the question, but is there any Hispanic ascendancy or in your family?
Oh yeah,
Because
definitely.
the Soto last name
Yeah, I'm Spanish.
from Spain.
Yeah,
Oh, nice. Sweet. My name is Zadok.
hear me roar.
Yeah. That's awesome, man. Yeah, I need to get back to streaming more regularly.
Yeah,
Yeah. I have my show, but I'm gonna have to go back and get do the show again. There's a bunch
yeah. I
of guests,
guess.
a bunch of new people out there that I want to like interview, including you, my good sir.
Yeah, man. Yeah, just let me know.
Yeah. Yeah, we can do the sketching thing, the drawing thing on my show also.
Yeah,
I would
man.
dig it. I would dig it.
Yeah, it's a cool character to draw.
Thanks, man. Yeah, I had like a. I don't know. I got a lot of influence also from what's this guy's name? Doomsday.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, a lot of influence from Doomsday.
Yeah, I could see that. All the spines growing out of them.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, that's dope, man. Yeah, I dig it.
Oh yeah, let me put you on full screen here. There we go. Nice.
Yeah, I didn't think I'd get us all inked, but I did.
Oh yeah, looks good. I like the dry brush you did there. Or is that hatching?
Where?
Uh, on the arm, back there.
This one?
Yeah.
Yeah, I did this with this one
Okay, so
with
it's just
the Fudenosuke tech
gotcha.
pens.
Okay,
Yeah,
so it's
I
just
don't
hatching.
consider. Yeah, cross hatching. Yeah, I don't consider myself skilled enough to mess with the brush. Yeah. Ben, could you check your messages in the private?
Oh yeah. Let's see here. Yeah, yeah. No problem, man.
Yeah, man. One second. One second.
Hail Edwin.
What's going on, man? How you doing? Yeah, good to see you, man.
All right, man.
Yeah,
Well,
this is the piece that I was drawing.
yeah. Let's see. Let me put you back on solo again.
Yeah.
There we
You
go.
guys should check out the replay, and you'll see me ink this live.
Looks
Tech
good,
pens,
man.
nothing but tech pens. Nothing but tech pens.
Very nice.
Thanks, man. Yeah, I appreciate you very much having me on the show.
Hey, no
Art is
problem,
looking
man.
good. Thank you very much, Jazz.
Yeah,
And
that's
yeah,
my
so
brother.
just that's your nice.
Yeah.
Nice to meet you, man.
And here's my piece.
Yeah, that's dope. I dig that. Yeah, buddy.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun, man. Well, thanks for hanging out with me,
It's
dude.
dope. No, thank you for having me on the show, man. It was a pleasure getting a chance to talk with you. I'll be sure to invite you on my show, and so we can continue this and do round two. But maybe in this case, we'll draw some of your characters.
Maybe, or maybe we could just switch your characters up. I'll draw your hero, you draw the villain.
Yeah, we can do that too. Yeah, we can do that too. No problem. And yeah, so yeah, just repeat for the people that are in the chat. The big announcement from my end is that the PDF file for my short 10-page mini comic is done. I will be announcing next week how I plan to put it out to you guys. I'm assuming, yeah, I'm gonna do what Sean and Joe did, and just hit me up in the private DMs with my PayPal, and I'll get the digital file out to you. It's $5 for the color version. $3 for grayscale, and $2 for the black and white line art, and yeah, you'll get to see these two characters right here battle it out.
Nice.
Yeah,
Let's try
hope
it.
you
So
guys
hit up
like it.
Elliot on the DMs.
Yeah,
Hey, thanks everybody for stopping by. Hit the like button, subscribe.
yeah,
Appreciate you guys for stopping by.
yeah. It's a pleasure. Pleasure to everybody in the chat. Hail to the chat.
Yeah, thanks for showing up, chat.
Peace.
Peace.